Hello, this is Pastor Derek Thomas of Living Witness Ministries. Welcome to the Word of Witness podcast. Today, we're going to take a long, deep, meaningful walk through a powerful biblical theme that's apropos with Thanksgiving on the horizon: gratitude. Not just seasonal gratitude, not circumstantial gratitude, but spiritual, sustaining, unshakable thanksgiving in a world filled with turmoil. My prayer today as we reflect is that our eyes are truly open to see the blessings we daily overlook and recognize God's presence in the ordinary and grace in the difficult, knowing that in all things we should be thankful, not because life is perfect, but because He is faithful. We live in a time where headlines shout fear, division, conflict, and loss. Wars rise, prices rise, chaos rises. Yet in the middle of it all, Scripture calls us to give thanks in all circumstances, not for all things, but in all things, according to 1 Thessalonians 5:18. Today we'll reflect on the reasons we still have hope, still have joy, and still have blessings all around us. And we'll frame our gratitude with real events happening right now in our world. Let's begin. There is no Christian life without gratitude, none whatsoever. In fact, the Bible is saturated with thanksgiving. Psalms 104 states that we're to enter into His gates with thanksgiving. Philippians 4:6 declares, "With thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God." Colossians 3:15 urges us to be thankful. Ephesians 5:20 reminds us to give thanks always and for everything. And Jesus Himself modeled gratitude, as a matter of fact. He gave thanks before breaking the bread that fed 5,000, not counting women and children. He gave thanks before raising Lazarus from the dead and giving him new life. He even gave thanks on the night He was betrayed. Gratitude is not polite manners. It's not optimism, nor is it pretending everything is okay. Gratitude is spiritual warfare. It pushes back on darkness. It shifts our focus from what's missing to what God is doing. It strengthens the soul when nothing else can. And in a world full of bad news, gratitude is a prophetic act. Let's face it, news today is heavy. In just the past year, we've seen rising geopolitical tensions, nations testing long-range missiles, high inflation that stretched families' budgets thin, humanitarian crises from wars in Europe, the Middle East, and Africa, and record numbers of displaced people worldwide. Not to mention challenges in our personal families, homes, health, and lives. But even in the face of these daunting realities, news also brings moments of light if we pay attention, including renewed humanitarian cooperation. Recent international reports show increased aid flowing to war-torn regions through non-governmental organizations, churches, and volunteers. Even when nations fight, people still help people. Every crisis reveals servants of mercy rising up. Scientific breakthroughs bringing hope. As of this year, new cancer therapies continue showing promise. Renewable energy breakthroughs are accelerating, and medical technology has made life-saving diagnoses faster. Every advance is a reminder of God's wisdom working through human hands in the earth. Communities rebuilding after hard times. Locally and nationally, communities have emerged stronger after economic strain, stronger after natural disasters, and especially stronger after the government shutdown. Food banks report record volunteer turnout. Churches are stepping in more frequently and substantially than ever before. Strangers are supporting strangers without promotion, but because it's the right thing to do. In scripture, gratitude often emerges after hardship, not before. Israel learned thanksgiving in the wilderness, not in the palace. We too can give thanks in the wilderness because God is still guiding us through it. One of the most profound reasons for gratitude is also the simplest. You woke up this morning. Psalms 3 and 5 says, I lay down and slept. I woke again, for the Lord sustained me. Current health reports remind us that life indeed is fragile. Heart disease remains the world's number one killer. Accidents, diseases, and senseless violence have all taken life early for so many. And yet, here we are, breathing, speaking, listening. A constant and loving reminder from God that every heartbeat is his gift, every breath is a demonstration of his mercy, and every sunrise is an extension of his grace. Sometimes we wait for something big to be grateful for, and we forget that the biggest gifts are already here. One of the greatest blessings we overlook is relationships. Whether you have a big family, a small family, or a church family, a connection of any sort indeed is a blessing. Recent studies from the American Psychological Association show that people with strong relational support recover faster from stress, live longer, experience significantly less anxiety, and have greater overall life satisfaction. In a world that is increasingly digital and divided, community is truly a lifeline. Scripture says in Genesis 2 and 18, it is not good for man to be alone. In Proverbs 17:17, a friend loves at all times. In Galatians 6 and 2, carry each other's burdens. And in Hebrews 10 and 25, let us not give up meeting together. So today, be thankful for the people who check on you. Be thankful for those who pray for you. Be thankful for those who encourage you, comfort you, or simply sit with you. They are truly gifts from God. Look around your life and notice God's provision. Food on your table, a roof over your head, clothes to wear, opportunities to work, water to drink, and protection unseen by your angels. Current inflation trends have caused stress, yes, but they've also made us more mindful of God's hand. Even in tight times, many testify, I don't know how, but God made a way. Scripture promises, my God shall supply all your needs, according to Philippians 4:19. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, according to Psalms 23 and 1. And I've never seen the righteous forsaken, according to Psalm 37 and 25. Sometimes the provision is money. Sometimes it's peace. Sometimes it's endurance. But God always provides. And for that, we give thanks. Let's highlight some real reasons for gratitude found in recent news stories. Communities rebuilding schools and playgrounds after storms. Reports show small towns rallying to rebuild after natural disasters, with hundreds volunteering and churches leading the way. Truly a testament to being our brother's keeper. Veterans receiving restored benefits through new legislation. New reforms improved healthcare access and housing for thousands of veterans this year. Neighbors raising funds for struggling families. Across the country, community giving campaigns shattered expectations by raising millions of dollars for displaced families and medical needs of every sort. Youth mental health initiatives expanding. States and nonprofits launch new programs to address youth anxiety and depression, giving hope to many that are struggling with these ailments. We often only hear about tragedy, but gratitude grows when we look for the good, the helpers, the servants, and the quietly faithful. Thankfulness doesn't ignore pain, it transforms it. James 1 and 2 says, "Count it all joy when you face trials." Why? Because trials produce patience, wisdom, strength, experience, and testimony. Current research in psychology shows that adversity often leads to post-traumatic growth. People emerge more compassionate, more appreciative, and more spiritually grounded after facing and overcoming adversity. This is because God does his greatest work in the darkest seasons of our lives. So if you've survived something recently, be thankful. If you've grown through something, be thankful. If you're still standing, be thankful. Psalm 103 calls us to bless the Lord and forget not all his benefits. When we thank God, we exalt him, we humble ourselves before him, we shift the atmosphere through him, we silence the enemy because of him, and we draw near to his presence. Studies show that gratitude lowers blood pressure, reduces stress, improves sleep, strengthens the immune system, lifts mood, and enhances focus. Isn't it amazing that God commands what is also scientifically good for us? Thankfulness aligns the body, soul, and spirit with heaven and is a reason to give God thanks. As we conclude our journey this week and begin preparing for the Thanksgiving holiday, let's make it a point to reflect on all the ways God has blessed us and make it our business to worship him with gratitude, not just on Thanksgiving Day, but every day. Remember, you have blessings you didn't see. You have mercies that carried you. You have hope for tomorrow. And most importantly, you have God's presence in your life today. Let's allow these realizations to make us witnesses of his goodness in a world desperate for light always. Thank you for joining me for the Word of Witness podcast. If you've enjoyed today's podcast, please subscribe by scanning the QR code in the bottom corner of the screen. Also, please share and encourage others to listen and subscribe. Until next time, this is Pastor Derek Thomas, encouraging you to stand firm, walk humbly, love deeply, and remember to maintain an attitude of gratitude no matter what you're going through, because every day is truly a day of Thanksgiving. Have a blessed and wonderful Thanksgiving holiday. I'll see you next time. God bless.